My name is Derek Ikboy, and I'm a Human Resources Supervisor. I'm also a chartered ACIPM chartered. And basically, I've worked in a couple of places from the maritime to where I'm currently working right now, manufacturing, FMCG, chemical industry, and I've worked in a couple of places where worked from the factory staffs to the management staffs in different sectors of the economy. Over time, I realized that there's this old curriculum that has been transferred from one generation of parents to the other, and that goes on and on within the circle. And what that insinuates is that the teacher are likely not going to have new curriculum, and if they do, they are probably not willing to adopt a new way or new technology of doing things. For me, I think that majorly what the government needs to do needs to encourage partnerships, private partnerships from like you have in the private universities, what they do currently. There are a lot of schools who are partnering with the private schools such that they could have their lecturers having to go through trainings, technological trainings, and above, much more than that, go through the day-to-day activities of what's happening in the workplace. If you have someone who has taught for like 100 years or 50 years or 20 years within the system and does not have a practical or technical know-how, is only going to be giving information based on what he thinks he knows without the practical know-how. Now, I think there are jobs. It's just what we've seen is that I think there's a shift from employability to entrepreneurship. And what I see in the universities these days is you have a lot of curriculum focused more on the entrepreneurship. So it gives birth and rise to some of the things that we are seeing right now. If we also have the same thing for employability, that will also encourage skills. Besides that, if you have someone, for almost like 8 years I've been recruiting, and I understand something very well, like if you have somebody who has stayed out of a job for 4 years, they're probably doing his business for 4 years, and he wants to get a job from you, you are likely not going to give him the job because that person is probably not prepared for such a role. But what happens is that if the government also, the same way they have, or the universities have raised curriculums for entrepreneurship, and they could raise also for employability, there will be a balance in both. Besides the government also helping students, because what we have in the end, like I used to tell people, we are likely going to have a system where we have a lot of jobs, a lot of people doing businesses, but no people ready to take up the jobs. So maybe in the next 4, 5, 8 years, we'll be talking of 3Ds, technologies where we can have robots taking over the jobs, because there are no people to take over the roles, and those people who are supposed to take over the roles are no longer prepared for the roles. So first, I think the government will have to, while they are still focused on employability, entrepreneurship, they also should be focused on employability so that there could be a synergy between both. Else, if we have people creating jobs, there will be nobody seeking for the job. Somebody came in one day for a territory sales manager, and we asked her why she left her previous job and needs to take up this job. And very funny, the answer she gave was that if you have, let me say it the way she said it in quote, if you have been eating ogbono, and you decide, you can just decide that you don't want to taste ogbono again, so why don't you just take a egusi? I know, are you aware that there are top management sitting here? But of course, we won't have to show it to her and just decide to follow along. But it shows the character that is being in play for a person of a managerial role. And in that regard, there is no way she could or she will be able to have that job. As little as those little things. Sometimes people come to interviews and they are so, relaxed. When I mean relaxed, you want to think that because I'm having a relationship with you, I'm speaking with you one-on-one, and it makes you feel so free. So you could just relate